Hey guys, welcome back to my watercolor channel, and today I paint some Christmas bottles. I use some phthalo blue as well as crimson red, and I mix a really nice and dark purple. Then I slowly wet at least one of those bubbles, so the idea is that they are a little bit transparent, and I spread with water. Then I add carefully with another brush the blue color, so it's phthalo blue. And while it's still quite wet, I tried to add the paint in the form of a bauble. Obviously it's a ball, but that it keeps its a shape. And then I add some reddish colors as well. Now I add some purple, and the bauble is still quite wet, so it's possible to play around with the shape, but I don't mind if it dries out a little bit, because I want to add some water there. And you can see now those little cauliflower stains. Then I have mixed some green out of phthalo blue as well as lemon yellow, and I have two different shades, so a little bit lighter and darker. Now I'll continue with the second leaf. It's a little bit brighter in green, and then I add more. It's actually quite fun just to spread the colors around, so this is very easy painting. And I like the idea that you can use different shades of green, so you don't need to add too much later on. I add a very bright cadmium red to the berries, so basically this is mistletoe. And the leaves haven't dried yet, but I don't mind if the colors is spreading onto the leaves as well. And then next to the second bubble there are berries as well. I try out more darker colors, so there is a smaller contrast there. And carefully spreading it underneath the bubble. As well as that onto the top. And then to the side. Although some bits here are put forward, I actually really take my time doing this painting. At the moment I'm just working on the leaves, and I continue with the background, which is of turquoise blue. But I'm also careful not to paint over the berries. And then I add some red colors there, because I want that it looks abstract in the background. However, I do emphasize the berries next to the Christmas baubles. Now they look very, very bright red. If you think, for example, that the edges on the berries are a bit too hard, of course you can spread the paint with clean water. I add some top to the one bubble, and it's a bright orange, and then I continue with the background. As well here I add some nice red. At the moment I have done everything on one go, so basically I'm waiting till certain parts have dried, and then I continue from the other side. However, I waited now that the first Christmas bauble has dried completely, and then I continue with the second Christmas bauble the same way as the first one, so just basically wetting the area and then adding the colors. A little bit of phthalo blue, and then darker red and some purple as well. Unfortunately, I have a little bit missed the form, so it looks a bit weird at the bottom. And then adding as well here some water, and I spread it around. I continue to add some structure to the leaves. And then emphasize a certain area as well. So I use a dark green, and then the strings where the baubles are hanging, emphasize it there. Now at the top, adding a little bit more shadows in between. And then also between the berries, adding some shadow. But yes, that was it. So thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe. Bye!